Hi, Alex from Messy Painting here with yet another installment in the February Scythe Challenge series. If you don't know about this challenge that I'm setting for myself, please watch the intro video I've made and some of the other videos in this series. What I've done since last video is basically done all the Agrax Earthshade in the large cracks, so for example on the bottom and on the top side as well, and also just cleaned it up generally, made sure that the wings are completely bronze, and done also these definite lines down here which I described in the last video. There's still a tiny bit of touching up to do, possibly Agrax Earthshade in a few other places and the detailing on the pilot, but that's all for another video because in this video I'm going to be focusing on the magnetization. Obviously there's no magnetization on the main chassis here, but on the underside bit of the carapace there are going to be two magnets. Well, you can kind of see two convenient holes there for magnets, so that the weapons can be interchangeable either as a doom scythe or a night scythe, so it can either have the death ray or the kind of portal thingy. I'm not sure what it's called. But first, of course, I need to build those weapons, so I'll be back when they're done, is what I meant to say, but as usual, the camera cut me off. So the portal thing's completely done at the moment, or completely glued. The death ray is actually just drying at the moment, so I'll show you that afterwards. Actually, I tell a lie when I say it's completely glued. I've actually, main portal bit, I haven't completely glued yet, because the other side also, I want to also paint the other side, because that is a cool swirly pattern on as well. So I really want to do that separately, because if you can see, when it's here, it's going to be incredible. You just basically won't be able to paint behind there, or at least paint a good effect. So at the moment I've just got it resting on there, and you can see how it would be, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's basically the same as the monolith portal in its general look, which is good because of the fact that they match. You know, there's a good sense of continuity. And yeah, I just think it's a pretty cool piece of machinery, looking very high tech, Necron style. Anyway, so I'll be back when the death ray is completely assembled, and I'll give you a look at that. So here's the death ray of ultimate death. It's looking pretty imposing, massive spiky focusing beam thing to destroy enemies. It as well has some unglued pieces, namely these two, for reasons that I'm a terrible painter and I cannot live with attempting to paint these bits while these are over them. Because I don't know, I would, but you know, I just want to make it as easy for myself as possible. So I'm gonna sacrifice doing it a bit more quickly for doing it a bit more easily. This one doesn't actually stand up quite as well as the portal, because as you can see, these aren't completely down at the moment. So it fits onto the underside in the same way, which I'll show you in a sec. But first of all, I just want to say this is one of the coolest looking Necron weapons I've actually seen. Although it isn't a particle weapon, as I've said before, it does look really cool because it kind of carries on the themes of the crystalline structures, and also just the general really high-tech lookingness of all of the Necron armory. So I'll just show you quickly how they fit onto the lower section of the kind of shell. So I won't bother putting those two bits back on the death ray at the moment. But you can see, so it has this one big hole right here, and just at the moment I'm kind of pondering how I will attach the magnets, because that big hole is a kind of semicircle, kind of concave. Concave, is that the right word? Which one's a hole and which one's out? Concave and convex. Anyway, sorry about that. So this kind of peg fits into there, and then these two here and here fit into these two kind of circular, I don't know what to call them, but there and there. So the pipes look like they're kind of going into the lower half of the chassis, which is really cool. and that's it basically. So if you can just see, it'll look like that, which is awesome. And basically the portal attaches in the same way. The actual portal bit's just fallen off. Sorry, I forgot it wasn't attached. So luckily the two weapons don't actually share the same set of tubes. If they did, this would be a lot harder to magnetize. But you can see that the death ray has a lot fatter kind of tubes. But they both attach in exactly the same way, with this kind of peg on a hemisphere there. Fits into here. Hopefully I've got the tubes in roughly the right place. Yeah, basically. It doesn't matter if they're a bit out, because the plastic's very slightly flexible. So, and I'm just going to pick up the portal bit. And that's another thing, I've got the kind of arm pieces that hold the portal very slightly out of place, so it doesn't fit quite as well as it should do. But I mean, that doesn't really matter. And as I said, it looks absolutely awesome, along with the death ray. So the main problem now is working out where exactly the magnets should go. As I said, the hole here is kind of hemisphere shaped, so it's quite hard to get a flat magnet in there, especially because of the fact that the hole for the peg is actually square. So I might have to do a little bit of cutting there, even though I haven't actually got a drill at the moment. I mean a hand drill, a hobby drill. So that's going to be quite hard. Alternatively, I could attach the magnets in these two places here and here, but that would mean this whole thing was slightly raised up. The magnets are about a few millimeters tall, 2 millimeters tall or something thick, I mean. So with two of them, that's going to be quite raised above here, which means there's going to be stress on the tubes because they've already been glued to fit exactly in here. So they might snap eventually. I think the safest bet, well, I mean, alternatively I could go for both is the other thing, but I think the safest bet is completely cutting off this peg and replacing it by a magnet, because the peg is actually only slightly longer than the thickness of the magnet, so it might actually fit quite well, especially if I put the magnet kind of only slightly into that hole and slightly above it. Then the difference will probably mean that it's about level, so that would actually work quite well. But as I said, I'm not sure. I will just put some of the magnets in this video and then I'll continue the process next video. So I'll be back when I have put a few of the magnets in. So see you then. Alright, I've finally managed to actually get the magnets done. I actually managed to get around to doing them after about 3 days. So this would have actually been uploaded about 3 days ago. So I'm sorry about that. But today I've got today more or less free, so I'll hopefully be able to make some progress. So yeah, I've done the death ray. That's brilliant, isn't it? Because I've put the magnet in here under a layer of glue as well, and I've sealed the magnet in here as well, so that's great, except for the fact that I've put this magnet in the wrong way around. So the next stage is to basically completely cut away this magnet and flip it round and glue it back in, and also of course to do the same process on the portal. But I don't really have time to include that in this video, so that will be next video. But until then, please watch some of our other videos, comment on this video, subscribe to our channel and like it. And this is me, Alex from Messy Paintings.